My name is Anais. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be an intuitive reading for those on the Sacred Union journey and soulful expansion and ascension path, and for those of you who identify as twin flames. You can take a look at my sort of primer for how I do my readings. These are intuitive readings. Sometimes I include the tarot. It depends on where people are in their journey and how much they understand about the archetypes of astrology and the archetypes of tarot and where they come from and why we should consider that information when we're on our soulful evolution expansion and ascension path. So this reading is going to be a reading primarily for those who are in what they would consider to be an in-between space where they have maybe met their sacred union counterpart. There is an understanding of the twin flame journey or the sacred union ascension path, but the way has not been completely cleared yet. There are still some challenges and some timeline shifts and some emotional and mental and psychological and spiritual adjustments that are needing to be made before partners can come together in their union in the 3D in whatever form that's going to take place. So I'm doing this reading because I'm aware right now there are lots and lots and lots of unions that are being impeded and interfered with by what I call the anti-life energies. Certainly these energies are anti-union as well as being anti-life because of the power that sacred unions bring to the table in terms of the human collective and its awakening journey right now. Once divine counterparts or twin flames come into the union experience energetically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, then there's an entirely new process that kicks in. It's very, very powerful. And so there's an intense ego purification process and realignment process that happens so that when that power comes into play, it doesn't accidentally be misused. So today we're focusing on a dynamic, and it's going to take a while to do this reading, and it's going to have several parts. So I'm going to begin here with the top row. Now we have out for guidance cards initially. Again, I'm working with a new arrangement because my video camera has decided to be cranky. So I'm working with my laptop computer today. It is a gorgeous day where I am right now. Hopefully the light will be okay for you. Here we have deep knowing, and this is very much the let me say the habitat of the divine feminine. It is she who carries the deep knowing in the physical reality plane. Then next out, we have the thinker. And the thinker, this is a card for divine masculine energy right now. Many divine masculines, you may be in a situation where you are struggling or really putting effort into coming up with a rational explanation or rational solutions to your having now become aware that you are in a sacred union dynamic, and this development in your life has presented several new situations that present initially as problems. and you're hoping to think your way through into solutions that will align with what is fast becoming known to you as your higher spiritual calling. So this is a challenging place for you, Divine Masculine. And you may or may not be at the stage of your journey where you're in communication on a regular basis with your divine feminine counterpart. And remember, this is not gender specific. This is about energy. And so you're just perhaps beginning to understand what is happening for you in terms of your highest soul evolution and growth. And you may still be developing your intuition and your inner standing, and you may have some reasonable doubts and concerns, perhaps because your connection to Source is just beginning to come online and be developed, and your connection to Gaia may be shifting. So you're here as the thinker, and Divine Masculine, that's quite a lot to grapple with. And you're not yet feeling that you can trust what is coming across in your inward connection to your divine feminine as her deep knowing, because you're still in your thinking mind. You haven't yet moved all the way into direct experience as your inner compass for how you organize your perceptions in a conscious way. And so you are not yet in your own place of deep knowing. That will happen. And so in the meantime, there's you're in the thinking mode, most likely in ego mind, though not necessarily. But your divine feminine at this point is coming into her deep knowing, and you're beginning your discernment process, as is she, so that you can begin to trust her deep knowing and allow it to have an impact on your thinking process. So this is where we start off this reading, and this is a very dynamic place, and there are a lot of people who are going to be coming into union energetically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically in the last 3 months of this year, and you're going to be on a very fast moving wave of energies. So I'm going to translate the current energies for you, and hopefully the way that I do this will help you begin to feel into yourself, pay attention inwardly to intuition and impulse and moments of wonderful, sweet clarity that becomes your inner voice that you can trust and rely on. But this is a very tricky time. So that's where you are, Divine Masculine. Remember, it's not about gender. And I'm always forever knocking these things over. I'd like to find some better stands, but so far I haven't found any. I need to go to my Michael's craft store and see what's available. So here we have, coming from Source, we have Truth Be Told. This is a very beautifully expressive card. It's this feathered owl is meant to represent divine wisdom, opening up in your crown chakra and opening you up to lots and lots of unconditional love, and opening up a portal into your own higher consciousness, awareness, and wisdom. And when that happens, it's very much a process of being purified, I'll use that word, into living in the truth. Now that's very hard to do these days. Very hard to develop that discernment, the compare and contrast exercises that we have to go through, the clearing out of dysfunctional emotional patterns, dysfunctional social conditioning that keep us in a state of separation. That separation is from Source. And until we connect and strengthen our connection with Source, we don't have a chance in the world of coming into union with our divine counterpart in the reality domain. That's just how it works. Don't shoot the messenger. All right, so that being said, here's the situation that you may be in right now, divine masculine. So here, and this is tough for me because I really can't see my screen. Hopefully you can see these cards. And oh, forgive my chip nail polish. I'm always doing crafty things and chipping my polish. So, oh well. In this view of what's happening with you, divine masculine, in the current energies, you are carrying the King of Swords. You are ready to be in absolute truth. And the feminine energy in your life is right now the Queen of Pentacles. This is a very grounded, very caring, very got a handle on things, 3D in 3D reality, focused on material well-being. But between you now, you have this Ten of Swords. This Ten of Swords is requiring you, divine masculine, to take a really clear look at where your life is. Now, there are going to be a couple of scenarios that I'm going to share. So, I will go through them one by one. But this Ten of Swords does represent a dead relationship. This thing can't be any more dead than in Ten of Swords. So, it's complete in that sense, and it's why you're able to look at it now with some clarity and from a kind of an objective observer, not very emotional space. This is where you are in your current energies. This can also represent, divine masculine, an inner dynamic with your inner feminine. Perhaps you have been focusing on your material well-being, and that's been your primary concern more than how you're living a truthful and spiritually aligned life. And that has come to an end. So that's where we're going to start out this conversation and this reading. Now, as you're coming into this awareness, divine masculine, you are feeling the calling of your true inner feminine, which in this card is characterized by yin, the magnetic feminine energy. You are feeling this is not present in your life, and it may be out of balance in your internal union because you may not have come into your direct connection with Source. And if you have not yet come into union with Source, I will repeat again, you cannot be in balanced union within yourself, internally or externally. Now, as you are looking at this situation and seeing it for what it is, you are also feeling a call to be more flexible. And this is a call to your ego mind, because your ego mind hasn't been able to get you out of the pain of this Ten of Swords situation here. So this is thoughts, this is ways of perceiving the world, perceiving yourself, perceiving your relationships that have just been brutalizing to you on a soul level, if not on an egoic level. So here you're now feeling that, there's some change afoot, and you're looking at how have you gotten in the way of your own deepest soul evolution, which is the way to your most joyful happiness. So we have here, this is card 19, which is a 10, another completion, and here we have the 2, which is about coming together in balance. Okay. So there you are, divine masculine. Now let's take a look at your current situation. And here again, there are going to be 4 scenarios. I'm going to begin with the first 2. Here we have a 9 of Pentacles and a 5 of Wands, and the energy here is connected to the divine feminine as an inner experience and an external experience. So as we said, we have a Queen of Pentacles. She's very grounded. Now, in your current dynamic, you may be with a Queen of Pentacles who's absolutely a satisfactory partner when it comes to taking care of the daily realities of everyday life. And you appreciate and value her for that. But you are still in this situation. So you're coming from a place of respect and caring for this feminine energy that is in your life, or in helping you in your inner spiritual journey to be in abundance, and even to provide some care for your inner child. But this is not working for you anymore, and it's also not working for the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the second scenario is that you and your Queen of Pentacles have allowed yourselves to become embroiled in a social situation, 5 of Wands, where there's conflict, where there's gossip, where there's innuendo, where there's struggle for resources and who's going to get what and how are we going to get it. And so you may have a Queen of Pentacles, an inner relationship or an outer relationship with your feminine energy that is in a place of pretty profound conflict, which is again just emphasizing that this is not working for you and you need to move on. Now this card may reflect you are being aware that you need to be moving on, and now you're in creative conflict and chaos because that process is beginning for you. And your divine feminine, and you may be, if you're in a marriage or in a long-term relationship, you may be going head-to-head right now, and there may be a lot of external conflict that is arising between the two of you. All right, those are 2 possible scenarios. The third scenario is that you've passed this inner conflict stage and you're at the stage where you're ready to walk away from each other. And in this scenario, I feel that this is your Queen of Pentacles here, and this is you with your back turned to this feminine, and she is going to take what she can take in terms of what she's put into this relationship and her idea of what the relationship should be. So she's going to carry away 5 of these swords. She's taking accountability. She's going to take 5 of these swords, but the relationship is still dead. She's just aware of this, and she knows it's time to walk away with some clarity and with some dignity. So that's the third scenario. And the fourth scenario is that your Queen of Pentacles has come to a place on her own where she feels that emotionally she's empty. And emotionally she's really feeling out in her soul for a new opportunity, either for renewed love or new love. She's feeling empty, and she's really realizing that the emphasis on pentacles, on earthly material matters, has put her into a kind of a dry space when it comes to emotional fulfillment, intimacy, and closeness. So, Divine Masculine, you may be in this kind of an interaction where you yourself, or your Divine Feminine, is letting you know that you're not experiencing enough really beautiful, loving, joyful intimacy in your life. And you're feeling this. And you may be having your back turned to a new opportunity for love to be renewed or new love to come to you, because you're still looking at this and trying to figure out what went wrong and why the cups are empty. Okay, and remember, you're the thinker. So you're trying to think your way through this dynamic and come to a rational solution to what is an emotional challenge. All right, now that is your divine feminine. And so now what I'm going to do is go forward to where you are divine masculine within yourself. So first we have you recognizing that your heart at this point feels broken. And you can feel this now because you're looking this with a great deal of clarity and the truth. You're telling yourself the truth. You're no longer in denial. And this is heartbreaking because you've invested in a relationship. Now this could also mean, with these stories over here, that you have lost this love through no fault of either one of you. There could have been a death in this situation, a physical death, in addition to an emotional death. And so you're in a heartbroken place, and this is why, for your inner feminine, you're not looking at the cup that's being offered to you. All right. Next we have the Six of Pentacles. And in this place of feeling heartbroken and emotionally empty, now comes a sense of something, that was a memory of fulfilling love, a memory of that. And with that memory for you, we have the Six of Pentacles, and you have a memory of balanced giving and receiving before the relationship took this turn. And you then were in a place where you were having the balance in receiving between your inner masculine and feminine, or your external masculine and feminine. So you're seeing this and you're recognizing that this is part of the feeling of why you're feeling heartbroken right now. So next out, divine masculine, here you are working hard to defend with the Seven of Wands. You're working hard to defend the relationship that is now dead. And you're figuring that maybe there's a chance that this can be resurrected. And maybe there could be a new offer of love between you and whoever it is that you're engaged with on an external level. And you're ready to defend. You're ready to try. You're ready to defend. In this dynamic, you're ready to come to the defense of yourself and perhaps of your partner in the gossip or in the social situation that is causing stress right now. So you do have some resources left. You do have some sense of what a relationship means to you, a truthful relationship, an emotionally fulfilling relationship, and you're ready to fight for it. This shows you're ready to fight for it. So that shows a lot of integrity and commitment on your part. Now next what we have, however, is the Tower. And this divine masculine is recognizing this is divine intervention on your part, and the divine is coming to you and saying, this is over. And we're glad you have the integrity to want to defend it, even though your heart is broken, but you're done. It's done. It's time to move on. It's time for whatever this is that you've been in, and for a long time it may have been really wonderful, and it may have served you well, but it's no longer serving your soul's evolution, and your soul is going to bring into your reality the circumstances to bring this situation to the completion that it obviously needs to come to. So here you are, Divine Masculine, and you very well may be just coming through a tower moment, or entering a tower moment, or feeling inside that, that the you know what is about to hit the fan, and you're in your King of Swords energy. You're just making a commitment to stay in the truth. To stay in the truth. Okay, so that's where you are, Divine Masculine. Now, in this process of the tower showing up, you get a sense that there is something going on at a much higher level. And so even though there's the tower is a beautiful moment, because it's created chaos absolutely breaking through to the new level of consciousness. And it's breaking through the resistance to awakening to this new level of spiritual awareness and consciousness. And so now we have the dragon energy accompanying the tower, which is, we're going to see this clearly, and somehow we're going to be the eye inside of this hurricane that's coming into light. We don't know what it is. We don't know how we're going to deal with it. But we do know that we have the capacity to hold ourselves steady in the eye of the storm. So this is where you are, Divine Masculine. So it's a combination of feeling, knowing that things are coming apart, feeling like you may come unglued, but being able to go back into your center, staying flexible in this dynamic, and look at the beautiful balance on this card. This is you, and this is, in a way, this beautiful opportunity to get a clear reflection of just how much you've grown. Okay, so now we are recognizing that the tower has come into your life and the situation is about to change. Which means that this Queen of Pentacles and, whatever has gone on here, in these four scenarios, these could possibly be one person as well. So here we have this situation is about to change. And coming into this, for this Divine Feminine that is exiting stage right, she's leaving this situation with a sense of dignity and beauty in having been respected and cared for. So while you may have a broken heart, she's leaving with a very different energy. And she's moving on with a sense of grace and well-being. Okay. So Divine Feminine, if you recognize yourself in this story, just be prepared for what's coming next and maintain this energy, although this can also be an energy of ego and maintaining outward appearances with a lot of conflict going on. So if you are holding on to a mask that looks like this, so that your friends and your neighbors and your coworkers are going to be shocked when they find out about the divorce, then that's your spiritual growth opportunity. So it's a question of whether you can face the truth being told and looking at your own life and the changes that are coming with as much care and tenderness and clarity as you can bring into your self-love. So this is looking actually, fairly possible. It's not going to be a terrible, bloody train wreck of a moving on for either the divine feminine or the divine masculine. Okay, so there we have that. Now I'm moving these on because we're moving on to another part of the reading. So here you are. This is the divine feminine that is being shifted through the tower for this divine intervention so that this King of Swords can come into the union that his soul wants, and also divine feminine so that you can come into the union that your soul wants to experience. And so we have out for you additionally, reflecting that, we have the Knight of Pentacles. It's another masculine energy coming in. Temperance and the Knight of Chalices. So this looks like you're coming into and moving away with this energy. The universe is bringing you new opportunities as well, and the patience to deal with the difficulties of ending a relationship. It may be a long-standing relationship. There may be children involved. Now, you could be anywhere in this timeline, but this is what the current energies are showing me is up right now, because more people are going to be coming into their sacred unions, which means a lot of people right now are not with their divine counterparts. So divine intervention is coming in, and the tower moments will be swiftly popping up because it's time. Okay, so now this divine feminine, you're exiting the storyline here. You're exiting the storyline. And we still have the divine masculine here working through what's happening in his life and trying to make sense of it. And so we're going to take this beautiful dragon energy of clarity and we're going to put it here so that the divine masculine can touch back to it when he needs to as he's going through this tower moment. Now, here is what the tower is going to bring in for you, divine masculine. And this will apply because for you, some of you divine feminines, your tower moment, you're going to have an equivalent tower moment, is going to bring you into this next situation where you are now coming in as the Queen of Wands. And this Queen of Pentacles, okay, is an energetic signature that this King of Swords remembers, respects, and will keep in balance within himself. But here you come in with a new energy that's very passionate and centered. Now, next we have out the King of Wands. So this is now already we have a pair, a counterpart pair here in the reading. And the two of you are, you're being brought together by this divine intervention, this tower moment. So you're feeling very passionate about your own lives. You're aware of your own passion as individuals. And you're going to bring beautiful passion and focus and fire into this new relationship. But you're going to take your time. Because this tower has to come completely down. And that requires time. And you two may or may not know each other. You may have known each other in other parts of life, but you may have just truly just met for the first time. So while this is a divine union, you still have to get to know the person. But this is a wonderful background energy with which to get to know your person. So what else is coming in with this energy? This tower moment. The tower is bringing in judgment and the high priestess. So this is the calling to coming into your union, and this is the beautiful energy of intuition and the revelation of deep secrets, not secrets that have to be hidden because they're shame, but secrets that are anchored in wisdom. So I feel that this energy, which is helping you to gain clarity about your spiritual evolution, will be part of awakening you, both you and your new divine feminine energy. Both of you together are being called into deeper intuition and perhaps opening into deeper soul memory as individuals and together. And this is your call of the divine saying, it's time for you to wake up and come together and be the beautiful, dynamic pair that will come in to serve the human collective in its awakening journey. So there you have that. And then we have one more card for this new energy coming in, and that's the Two of Cups. So this is reflective of energy that's coming in, being brought in by the Tower, divine masculine, to help heal your heartbreak. And whatever imbalance you've been experiencing, and whatever defense you've had to defend yourself and your perceptions and your all of that that's come down. This is coming down with an energy that's loving, that's ultimately going to lead to love and intimacy and emotional fulfillment. Okay. All right. So here we have this new energy, and this is also going to be an energy that is going to be very much about alignment and balance with the divine feminine energy. Yin is the divine feminine. That's the beautiful, creative base of the magnetic feminine energy in all creation. So this isn't going away. There's no need to lose that. All right. So coming in now with the Tower and with this Two of Cups is an opportunity for growth, for the King of Wands to be reconnected with his masculine passion and sacred sexuality, and for the Queen of Wands to be connected to the deep, 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 deep creative magnetic experience of union as a process of ecstasy and creativity. A lot of love, a lot of light, a lot of power. So this is where this new relationship is taking you, divine masculine and divine feminine. All right. Now over here, we're just going to be clear that what we have now, after the Tower comes in for the divine masculine, we have the Ace of Wands, the World, the Emperor, and the Queen of Cups. Okay? So now we're literally going to roll up this Tower carpet of transformation and transition that has been where the divine masculine is coming from. And so now this energy has transitioned. And over here we have the Ace of Wands, the World, the Emperor, and the Queen of Cups. So this is where the Tower is bringing you divine masculine. And this is where that Tower energy is bringing in the divine feminine. She's coming in, the Queen of Wands is being gifted with an Ace of Swords so that she can meet you, divine masculine, in your, the importance for you of being in the truth. So let me put these like this, shift that over here like this. And here we have the gift of the Ace of Wands being given to the divine masculine and the Ace of Swords being given to the divine feminine here. She's also being given the Ace of Chalices so that she can resonate, co-resonate with the divine masculine's expressing his emotions and expressing his willingness and longing and excitement and coming into divine union with the Queen of Cups. Okay, so she's going to be co-resonant to that energy. And then next we have the Chariot, which is, I don't do the astrological thing, but this is an energy that reflects balance between the dualities that have been a struggle in all of the 3D creation. And here we have a divine couple in union as one energy that is able to direct the energies of duality into a new direction. So this is also being gifted to the divine feminine because of her deep knowing. She's got the reins right now. Okay. And then we also have the Empress here for the divine feminine. So not only do we have the King and Queen of Wands, but we have here the Empress, which is the match to the Emperor. And the Emperor is all the kings. This is a man, a person embodied a masculine energy, perhaps a man, could be a woman. It's not necessarily gender specific, who has come into a conscious relationship with the elements of creation, earth, air, water, and fire, as has the Empress. And here they are both reflecting a very strong and beautiful connection to Gaia, to the planetary consciousness of Gaia, our Mother Nature. So this is beautiful. This is what the Tower has brought in to this situation. Okay. So in the practical reality, where does this go? So now, the Ten of Swords, right? We now have the Nine of Swords, so there's some anxiety regarding this new dynamic, this new relationship. But there's tremendous support, divine masculine, for you to come up and being all up in your head and feeling like you're not sure whether this is a situation you could trust, and it's keeping you up at night. And you have, however, you're striving to move yourself into a place of balance. So you're taking this energy and you're just like, okay, I've got some resources here. I'm just going to allow my inner work to come through in a material way so that I'm not driving myself crazy. I'm going to just focus on keeping myself together in the 3D world right now, while these other things are changing around me, which is just fine. So you're being flexible there. You're working on this new relationship, and you're willing to go slow and let it evolve. And because of that, next we have the Lovers. And this reflects this beautiful energy of ecstasis and he of the fiery sword, and the coming together of the Emperor and the Empress, the King and Queen of Wands, with all of these new, divinely supported opportunities to come into union. So both of you are aware that you have been impacted by divine intervention. You're accepting it, you're receiving it, and you're still taking your time. And as part of taking that time, here you have the Hermit with his lantern and his wand. You, divine feminine, you, divine masculine, will take the time that you need to do your inner and outer work, to stay aligned with your intuition and your mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies and your etheric bodies, to allow this relationship to grow within and without. So that's just gorgeous. So you have the Emperor and Empress doing that work. You have the Lovers come out. It's beautiful. And the next we have the Ace of Cups. So this is a gift coming in. This is a gift that's coming in through the archetype of the Lovers, the third way, the unification within, the High Priestess, the Judgment, and an opportunity to expand into regenerative and healing expansion. So we have that. That's really sweet coming in here. And, you know, how this is going to look, how it's going to work out, that has yet to be determined. But there's a lot of support here for this union. And this is a collective reading. This is not a specific reading. So if it resonates with you and you appreciate that you see some part of you engaged in these dynamics in your own personal life and in your sacred union journey, that is wonderful. And then here we have the Nine of Cups, which I feel is a gift to, we have the Queen of Chalices is on the divine masculine side, and we have an Ace of Chalices here on the divine feminine side. So I feel that this Ace of Cups and this Ace of Cups are so that the Queen of Wands can feel the emotional satisfaction and passion being a really beautiful regenerative part of her life in this new adventure that she is on with divine intervention. So that's beautiful. Okay, now let's see what else we've got going on here. As I said, this was going to be a dynamic reading. All right. So with this gift of the Cups and what's going on the divine masculine and the divine feminine side, here we have Whale and Octopus and Bee. So these are cards that I feel reflect the union space, and that both of these divine counterparts have these energies in common. Deep access to consciousness and willing to explore it. A beautiful, watery curiosity about feeling and creativity, and being able to, an octopus very well manipulates things with all those tentacles, while the whale is simply conscious. So we're coming up from the depths, And then we have this beautiful, magnificent creature in the everyday land-based reality who is such an incredibly generous and powerful multidimensional being. That's the energy of the honeybee. So that is also showing up as part of the balancing energies between divine feminine and divine masculine in this union. So lots of honey and sweetness and industry and working for the good of the colony is really at play here. So I think that's just wonderful. And I'm going to put this up here with these energies that have come in. And so then we can ask, what are the upcoming challenges as this is coming together? What are some of the challenges that the divine masculine you are likely to face? Here we have the star, which I feel is bringing healing to that broken heart for both of you. Here we have the Hierophant, which is bringing in a more energized and empowered opportunity for self-reflection and awareness, coming in as the major arcana for the Hermit. Yeah, and here we have Death. So I think this is a really interesting response to the Tower energy, which is surrendering to the consciousness that needed to be released. And we have the World again. And so I feel to be in balance this time, this World energy is going to come and reside on the yin dynamic here, on the divine feminine side. So this is the beautiful new life that's coming in because of all that's the new energy that's been brought in through the Tower and through, the reshuffling and the reorganization of these timelines. So then we also have, here we have the Devil. So I feel this is an opportunity to recognize how we need to be very, very conscious about this new opportunity and this relationship, so that we're always recognizing those opportunities when we need to, in a sense, self-select a Tower moment by being awake in our lives and recognizing that we are creating an obstacle for ourselves. That's based on fear, that's based on illusion, that's based on assumption, that's based on misperception. It's based on closing our heart and dropping back down into ego mind. So this is beautiful because there's a lot of energy to support being able to recognize those micro moments when we steer off of our inner compass. And hopefully these are very brief intervals of time. And we begin to recognize when the energy is off, and we can just immediately adjust. So here we have that. And then we have the Strength card again. No, maybe this is for the first time we have the strength to be able to take our energy and our consciousness and choose these moments where we get to be the Tower and we get to dismantle unconscious triggers, behaviors, and choices. And here we have Temperance, which is about having the patience as well as the strength to recognize that our partners and our loved ones will be on slightly different timelines. They may be ahead of us, they may be behind us, and we need to have the patience to both generate healthy boundaries and also the patience to be able to offer forgiveness and compassion when it's appropriate to do that, while we absolutely do not hold ourselves back. And last week we have the High Priestess again. So this is beautiful because now both the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine are tapping into their intuition and to their deep knowing. So that's a beautiful transition, because when we began the reading, the Divine Feminine was vibrating with the resonance of deep knowing, but the Divine Masculine was still in thinker mode. And now, because of all that's transpired, he too is resonating and recognizing and being in alignment with his own inner High Priestess, who will share her secrets of being consciously awake and aware and able to still be grounded in daily life. So that's quite wonderful. So now where we have this kind of understanding and a deep spiritual journey that's happening here between inner and outer, feminine and masculine. And so what do we have coming in to move this union forward into mission work? We have the Three of Wands, which is about trusting that the work that we've done is yielding the rainbow bridge, the 5D bridge for us in our lives, and that we're able to be patient and at the same time very, very clear and ready to do the work, or the joyful discovery of continuing to open up to ourselves and to our communities and to our partners and all that we need to be awake and aware of. And here again, this is just a beautiful reflection of the passion in the wands between the king and queen here that we have on in this reading. Then next we have the magician. Now, if you've watched my other readings, you know that I prefer to rename the magician the master conscious co-creator, because the magician may choose to be about service to others, but many times the magician is only concerned about service to self, whereas the conscious co-creator is about service to source, service to others, and service to self. So here we have this energy coming in, which is no surprise given all that's transpired here. And this is an energy that is neither masculine nor feminine. It is the neutrality of co-creation and creativity expressing on multidimensional levels. So here we have a kind of an access point to bringing in that kind of dynamic and moving it through all aspects of our lives. It's very, very beautiful. Now, yeah, of course. And now, of course, here we have the sun. And this is for me, this is about tapping into the sun of your own core creation. And this is also about the full and complete healing of your divine blueprint and your source sparked conception and incarnation. And the sun is now here to meet you in your union. Both of you are meeting in this energy. Okay, so in terms of the kind of fun stuff, psychological level, here we have the divine feminine and divine masculine playfully on this journey of this new opportunity, and playfully taking this new opportunity to build a relationship that will be a well-constructed space for their consciousness that will not require another tower moment, big one, to maintain it and sustain it. And here we have a validation of the tremendous transformation that has occurred in this process, and who knows how much, quote, time this unfolding of this union dynamic and the challenges that both partners are having to grow through. Here's your transformation. It's just a validation that you do have what you need to allow this to unfold in a really beautiful way, connected to the earth, connected to the divine feminine in all of creation. Beautiful, beautiful energy here. Very calm, very poised. Feels very balanced and loving, so that's sweet. And and this is the opportunity to feel in this new dynamic a deep sharing of love and respect and the virtues of being an awake and aware human being: integrity, truth, transparency, trust, discernment, honesty, clear communication, all part of being embraced and held in the most beautiful, clear light and a loving experience of both partners feeling this love. I would say to the sun and back, to the moon and back, to source and beyond. So there we have that. And I think this is beautiful. I think this is for the white rose of hope, and this is primarily for the divine masculine, because if you recall at the beginning of the reading, he was the one healing his broken heart, and so he has had this rose of hope in giving and receiving beautiful, spiritually based and informed unconditional love for himself and for his partner. Remember, not gender specific. And so this for me feels like a wonderful acknowledgement of that healing happening for the divine masculine. And then we have under my umbrella, and for me this energy actually feels like divine protection for this union and for both of the partners in this union, having a sense that their transformation is a result of a beautiful divine blueprint and intervention and realignment of timelines so that it could take place, and that this is a protected union. And so both partners will be highly aware of any kind of vibration or energy that's wanting to come in and throw the union under the bus with some form of the devil coming in and trying to impede this beautiful transition into 5D and New Earth and participating and doing mission work in the 5D and beyond environment, all the way up now. We'll be moving very quickly. Once we are prepared, we'll be moving very quickly into all the multidimensional realms in which we can truly function in alignment with Source and our highest and best selves. And we'll do this awake and aware. We'll even be doing it when we're asleep. So you'll be having the experience of being conscious 24/7. It's quite interesting. Okay, so that's wonderful. And then I did choose, or these cards chose themselves. These are my Angel Bee Divine Guidance cards. And this is Remember You, and I feel this is very important for the Divine Feminine energy, to really remember who she is in her fullest, most awakened self, that includes her deep knowing, but also her wonderful, wonderful grounded ability to function and be supportive and loving in the everyday environment, so that she's in a really beautiful connection with Source and with her self-love. Again, not gender specific, it's feminine energy. So you're going to be sure to remember you in your deep knowing. And then here we have from source, we're coming out of binary code. We're coming out of being stuck in duality. We're coming into the third way in our union. And this is from my Gaia suit, which is relax into the third way. And the truth will be told, and you will know what it is. And you won't have to struggle with knowing truth from falsity. And then lastly, we have out, this card has to do with shadow work and deep inner transformational awareness, spiritual level, but also at the elemental, the atomic level, and the molecular level. And this has to do with our DNA very often. And so here we have, yes, the father bloodline. So this is for the divine masculine who is re-navigating, coming out of this ego mind, coming out of this father bloodline dynamics, so that he's able to come into this beautiful energy of the sun, where his ego mind has been transformed, and he's done so much to facilitate that through his own attention to his father's ancestral lineage. So there we have that. All right, so there's your reading. This is the kind of thing I can share with you. If you'd like to book a personal reading, I am available for those. And as you can see, I have some fluency with tarot, so no worries there. And I do have lots of wonderful, beautiful decks of imagery that assist me in translating current energies, for which I'm very grateful to the artists and the creators of these decks, because whether or not they're anchored in tarot, which has its own issues, they are deeply part of waking up the human collective unconscious and subconscious, and I'm very, very appreciative and thankful for that. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this longer reading, and if you need assistance or support on your sacred union journey, on your twin flame journey, and you begin to get a glimpse of what it might be possible to let go of being, in a sense, corralled in the archetype of either feminine or masculine perceptions of what it means to be male or female, or if you have been corralled away from religion and into astrology, which is actually, in a way, another form of religion. If you have liberated yourself or are interested in finding out how to liberate yourself from those energy dynamics, I'm probably someone who could be an effective coach for you, an effective support. And I have been doing this a very, very long time. All right, much love to you, peace and blessings, and take really good care of yourself, because coming into the rest of the year, the energies are going to be very intense. And I will say again, there will be energies that will be trying to interfere, impede, interrupt, or even destroy your union. And the more information you have about that, the better. All right, so all my contact information is in the description box, as well as pricing for a personal reading. And thank you very much. I really do appreciate your commenting, liking, and especially subscribing to my channel. Now's a good time to do that, because there's going to be a lot happening as we roll toward 2020, and then we're actually in 2020. Best to be deeply aligned and prepared. Okay, thanks. Take care.